Welcome to Modern Mystic Messages. I'm Teresa. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to back into the book of Enoch. We are at chapter 66 now. I think when we left off, we were seeing some correlations between some of the things that were, or maybe not exact correlations, but some of this book of Enoch reminded me of some of the things that we see mentioned in Revelation, and they kind of wrap around each other. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So let's continue on and see what happens in 66, shall we? And after that, he showed me the angels of punishment who are prepared to come and let loose all the powers of the waters which are beneath in the earth in order to bring judgment and destruction on all who abide and dwell on the earth. And the Lord of spirits gave commandment to the angels who were going forth that they should not cause the waters to rise, but should hold them in check. For those angels were over the powers of the waters. And I went away from the presence of Enoch. And in those days the word of God came unto me, and he said unto me, Noah, thy lot has come up before me, a lot without blame, a lot of love and uprightness. And now the angels are making a wooden building, and when they have completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it, and there shall come forth from it the seed of life, and a change shall be set so that the earth will not remain without inhabitant. Now, this story varies a little bit from the biblical story because even in the lost book of Enki, he doesn't indicate that any Anunnaki helpers built it. The people of Noah's neighbors, basically, he told Noah what to tell the people, that he had to go, that his Lord Enki was displeased with him, and he had to travel to Enki's land out in the Abzu, or the land of Megan, or whatever. So he built this thing, but he gave them a sufficient story so that they all kind of pitched in like a barn raising and hurried up and got it built in a week. That's a little different, but this is different from the scripture, the biblical account. But one of the things that I'm loving that is similar to the book of Enki is when it talks about bringing forth the seed of life, because in the lost book of Enki, rather than that somewhat implausible, and if you actually think about it in rational terms, impossible, and some truthfully downright ridiculous story of bringing every single animal on the face of the earth by twos and sevens into this ark, he talks about the seed of life, because Enki mentioned in the lost book of Enki that they made inside the ark, there was a smaller vessel or box that was an acacia box, and they waterproofed it and sealed it and all, but it contained the essences of many of the plants and animals around the time. He and Ninmah, Isis, gathered basically DNA samples or genetic samples and put in this box, and sealed it up with pitch, so that even if something actually happened to the ark, even if something happened to Noah and his family, they would still at least have the potential to restore the animal and plant life on earth after this flood happened, because they didn't know how bad it was going to be either. So they were trying to prepare for what was happening. Since they couldn't stop the flood, he was trying to make sure that he had the best possible chances to restore earth after the flood. Now, it's very noticeable in the book of Enki's account. Enlil didn't help at all with that. In fact, Enlil was still pushing for humanity's my eyebrows doing a weird thing, for humanity's extermination. So I just found that super interesting to note there, that he did mention the actual essences instead of trying to imply that it was all of the actual livestock. But yeah. Let me see. And I will make fast thy seed before me forever and ever, and I will spread abroad those who will dwell with thee, those who dwell with thee. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion and a convulsion of the waters. And this reminds me of something I saw the other day on, I forgot who the lady was, but she was some scientist, and she was saying you'd be very surprised to find out that when you look at those ancient DNAs, if you looked at someone, say, from Sweden and someone from one of the Asiatic countries, say China, even as far apart as they are, you would think that those would be more genetically diverse or genetically farther apart than two people, two neighboring cultures right there in Africa in close proximity. But she said it wasn't so because when they did start dispersing the population out through the earth, yes, people went far and wide from all of them came out of Africa, but then it was smaller pockets of people that settled in specific areas. So over time, their genetic mutations or their genome, if you will, stayed pretty similar because it was fewer people within that gene pool than staying on mainland Africa with a huge, diverse gene pool to mingle with. And I thought that was kind of interesting as well. Now, again, I'm not a geneticist, so I don't know how true that is, but it does make sense because we know through all of the ancient histories that we're able to get our hands on, there did come a point in time where they did leave off of mainland Africa and began to branch out into other places around the world. But unless or until agriculture, metallurgy, and things like that began to spread out with them, those cultures stayed pretty primitive for a long time. Um, Let me see. And I will make fast thy seed before me forever and ever, and I will spread abroad those who dwell with thee. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place from that fiery molten metal and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters. And that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth for the healing of the body. Those, like, I guess the sulfur springs, yeah, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits none shall utter an idle word. For the judgment shall come upon them because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the spirit of the Lord. Uh-oh. And don't we see that today? We see a rampant mm, well, they have made it recreational instead of sacred. And honestly, it ain't even just about the sexual lust of the body as far as physicality, lust of the body as far as excess luxury, food, pharmaceuticals, substances, all kinds of things. I mean, here he's talking about, I think, actual physical, um, sexual lust, but again, it's at its all-time high. We live in the generation of Netflix and chill. Nobody actually, well, I ain't gonna say nobody, but there is a vast spirit that is rampant throughout the most of the world today of taking that relationship between partners very, very casually, very disrespectfully. And because of that, it's truthfully kind of cutting them off from the spirit of the Lord. Whether we want to be religious about it or not, it does shift our focus away from the sacred and towards the profane. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days, for when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature, and when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering it and saying that this judgment where this judgment with the angels are judged is a this judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth. Now, I really think some of this has to be symbolic in a way, because other than that, are you honestly suggesting that hot springs are the prison cells of the watchers? I never heard that one before. And even that, then that would make me wonder, what is the Dead Sea? Because they use that for health benefits too, but there's no human or even animal life on this planet that can maintain in the Dead Sea. It is people go and float in it and all of that for health, for health reasons, but you can't get that stuff in your eyes, in your mouth, nothing. It is so saline that probably even drinking an ounce of it will probably kill you. But we'll see. Amen. For the judgment shall come upon them because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the Spirit of the Lord. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days, for when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature, and when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering and saying, this judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth. And after that, my grandfather Enoch, wait a minute, yeah. After that, my grandfather Enoch gave me the teachings of all the secrets. Hold on, I missed a verse. There we go. Because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body, therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. Oh. And after that, my grandfather Enoch gave me the teachings of the secrets, of all the secrets in the book of the parables, which had been given to him, and he put them together for me in the words of the book of the parables. And on that day, Michael answered Raphael and said, the power of the Spirit that transports and makes me to tremble because of the severity of the judgment of the secrets, the judgment of the angels, who can endure the severe judgment which has been executed and before which they melt away? And Michael answered again and said to Raphael, who is he whose heart is not softened concerning it, and whose reins are not troubled by the word of his judgment, that he has gone forth upon them because of those who have thus led them out? And it came to pass, when he stood before the Lord of spirits, Michael thus said to Raphael, I will not take their part under the eye of the Lord, for the Lord of spirits has been angry with them because they do as if they were the Lord. Mm. Mm-mm. Now that part, and it's gonna be some folks that's gonna they gonna have to pay for that one, because it's a whole bunch of these religious leaders that they literally speak up and claim that they're the right hand to God. And like you said, Yahweh is claiming to be the Almighty God, the one and only in all the universe. And he's saying that these folks are doing that stuff, they're going to pay for that. But we'll see. Therefore, all that is hidden shall come upon them forever and ever, for neither angel nor man shall have his portion in it, but alone they have received their judgment forever and ever. And after this judgment they shall terrify and make them to tremble, because they have shown this to those who dwell on the earth. And behold, the names of those angels, and these are their names. The first of them is Shemyaza, the second Artakifa, the third Armin, the fourth Kokabel, the fifth Turiel, the sixth Rumjal, the seventh Danyal, the eighth Nekael, the ninth Barakel, the 10th Azazel, the 11th Amros, the 12th Batariel, the 13th Basaiel, the 14th Hananiel, the 15th Turel, and the 16th Semapestiel, the 17th Jetrel, the 18th Tumael, the 19th Turel, that's another Turel, the 20th Rumael, the 21st Azazel. So there's 2 Turels and 2 Azazels. Okay. Or Azazel. And these are the chiefs of their angels and their names, and the chief ones over hundreds and over 50s and over 10s. The name of the first Jachan, or Yachan, that is the one who led astray all the sons of God and brought them down to the earth and led them astray through the daughters of men. And the second was named Asbel. He imparted to the holy ones of God evil counsel and led them astray, so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. And the third was named Gadriel. He it is who showed the children of men all the blows of death, and he led astray Eve and showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, and shield and the coat of mail and the sword for battle and all the weapons of death to the children of men. And from his hand they have proceeded against those who dwell on the earth from that day and forevermore. And the fourth was named Penemua, and he taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. And he instructed mankind in writing with the ink and pen and paper, and thereby many sinned from eternity to eternity until this day. For men were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good faith with pen and ink. Now this part I'm really... now we're starting to roam. It's starting to sound a little political to me, because it doesn't stand to reason to me that the same being who gave us art and science and astronomy and meteorology and all those things wouldn't want us to write it down. In fact, with the Lost Book of Enki, he told Andupsar to write. How could Andupsar write if he didn't know the knowledge of writing? So it was... Now, I get they weren't supposed to teach them weapons and black magic. I get that part, because what did they need weaponry for? And they definitely didn't need no black magic and spell work, but pen and ink, really? And he naming whoever, we're talking about somebody misled Eve. No. Enki he told on himself that he was the one that told Eve the truth and stopped that lie that Enlil had going. But now we're seeing a deviation, that they're putting the blame on this other angel. So that's why I said I'm still... the jury is out on me on how exactly I feel about the Book of Enoch, but I've been wanting to read it for a while, so we're going to keep going. Oh, yeah, but I'm just... For men were created exactly like the angels, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous, and death, which destroys everything, could not have taken hold of them, but through this, their knowledge, they are perishing, and through this power, it is consuming me. And the fifth was named Kazjada, Kasdehia. This is he who showed the children of men all the wicked smitings of spirits and demons, and the smitings of the embryo in the womb, oh, that it may pass away, and the smitings of the soul, the bites of the serpent, and the smitings which befall the noontide heat, the son of the serpent named Tabaaret. And this is the task of Casbiel, the chief of the oath which he showed to the holy ones when he dwelt high in glory, and its name is Bika. Bear with me a moment. This angel requested Michael to show him the hidden name, that he might enunciate it in oath, so that those might quake before that name and oath, who revealed all that is in secret to the children of men. And this is the power of this oath, for it is powerful and strong. And he placed this oath, he placed this oath, Akai, in the hand of Michael. And these are the secrets of this oath, and they are strong through this oath. And the heaven he suspended before the world was created and forever. And through it the earth was founded upon the water, and from the secret recesses of the mountains came beautiful waters, from the creation of the world and unto eternity. And through that oath the sea was created, and as its foundation he set for it the sand against the time of its anger, and it dare not pass beyond it from the creation of the world unto eternity. And through that oath are the depths made fast, and abide and stir not from their place from eternity to eternity. And through that oath the sun and moon complete their course and deviate not from their ordinance from eternity to eternity. You're losing me now, Enoch. You're losing me, because again, they already admitted you can't turn around later after the fact. This is a later work than what Inky dropped. He done already said that this planet was already formed. It was bioformed and terraformed when they got here. So now how he's going to come up with the story about how he set the heavens. He didn't set the heavens. He said he did a vast survey of the earth to map out the waters, and then, like I said, to note the constellations in relation to the earth, so that we could tell time by the sun and the moon and all that stuff. He wrote all of those things down because he made those observations, but he didn't actually create the planets. That sounds like a little bit of that Sumerian Babylonian aggrandizement that we see happening, but yeah, we're gonna keep going. And through that oath, the stars complete their course, and he calls them by their name, and they answer him from eternity to eternity. And in like manner, the spirits of the water and of the winds, and all zephyrs and their paths from the quarters of the winds. And there are preserved the voices of the thunder and the light of the lightnings. And there are preserved the chambers of the hail, and the chambers of the hoarfrost, and the chambers of the mist, and the chambers of the rain and the dew. And all these believe and give thanks before the Lord of spirits, and glorify him with all their power, and their food is in every act of thanksgiving. And they thank and glorify and extol the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. And this oath is mighty over them, and through it they are preserved, and their paths are preserved, and their course is not destroyed. And there was great joy amongst them, and they blessed and glorified and extolled, because the name of that Son of Man had been revealed unto them. And he sat on the throne. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And he sat on the throne of his glory, and the sum of judgment was given unto the Son of Man. And he caused the sinners to pass away, to be destroyed from off the face of the earth, and those who have led the world astray. With chains they shall be bound, and in their assemblage place of destruction shall they be imprisoned, and all their works vanish from the face of the earth. And from henceforth there shall be nothing corruptible, for that Son of Man has appeared, and has seated himself on the throne of his glory, and all evil shall pass away from before his face, And the word of that Son of Man shall go forth and be strong before the Lord of spirits. This is the third parable of Enoch. And it came to pass that after this, that his name during his lifetime was raised aloft to that Son of Man and to the Lord of spirits from amongst those who dwell on the earth. And he was raised aloft on the chariots of the Spirit, and his name vanished among them. And from that day I was no longer numbered amongst them. And he set me between the two winds, between the north and the west, where the angels took the cords to measure for me the place for the elect and righteous. And there I saw the first fathers and the righteous who from the beginning dwell in that place. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into the heavens. And I saw the holy sons of God. They were stepping on flames of fire. Their garments were white in their raiment, and their faces shone like snow. And I saw two streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. And I fell on my face before the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand and lifted me up and led me forth into all the secrets. And he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of the heaven, and all the chambers of all like the stars, and all the luminaries whence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. And he translated my spirit into the heaven of heavens, and I saw there as it were a structure built of crystals, and between those crystals tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw the girdle which girt that house of fire, and on its four sides were streams full of living fire, and they girt that house. And round about were seraphim, cherubic, and Ophanim, and there are they who sleep not and guard the throne of his glory. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and the holy angels who were above the heavens go in and out of that house. And I also have to remember these are parables, so I guess he was given the language that he could understand and translate and share with us. And they came forth from that house, and Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel, and many holy angels without number. And with them the head of days, his head white and pure as wool, and his raiment indescribable. Interesting, because in the scriptures, Yeshua in his heavenly glory is described as having hair as pure as wool and all that. But the Ancient of Days in the scriptures, from what we're taught, refers to supposedly Yahweh. But again, this sounds like they're referring to Yeshua, but we're going to see. And I fell on my face, and my whole body became relaxed, and my spirit was transfigured, and I cried with a loud voice with the spirit of power, and blessed and glorified and extolled. And these blessings which went forth out of my mouth were well pleasing before that head of days. And that head of days came with Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel, thousands and 10,000s of angels without number. Lost passage wherein the Son of Man was described as accompanying the head of days. Okay, so the Ancient of Days in the scriptures, it refers to the Most High, supposed to be. So in this vision, it will still be the same, although, like I say, it's still most of the time fairly obvious that it seems like this is Team Enki and not Team Yahweh, especially since the Son of Man is accompanying along with. Um, Enoch asked one of the angels, as in 463, concerning the Son of Man as to who he was. And he, i.e., the angel, came to me and greeted me with his voice and said unto me, This is the Son of Man who is born unto righteousness, and righteousness abides over him, and the righteousness of the head of days forsakes him not. And he said unto me, He proclaims unto thee peace in the name of the world to come, for from hence has proceeded peace since the creation of the world, and so shall it be unto thee forever and ever and ever. And all shall walk in his ways, since righteousness never forsaketh him. With him will be their dwelling places, and with him their heritage, and they shall not be separated from him forever and ever and ever. And so shall there be length of days with that Son of Man, and the righteous shall have peace and an upright way in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. And actually, we're going to stop here. That was the end of chapter 71. We'll take up at chapter 72 on the next time. I think this is a good place to stop so that we don't make these be too long. We can take them in nuggets so we can stop and digest them and think about it a little bit, go back and listen again. But I do appreciate you joining me today. And if you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up. And of course, share it with anybody that you know may be interested in this content. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not, and set for notifications so that when more content drops, you'll be aware. And if you're able to, please join us on the live streams Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be right here on Modern Mystic Messages. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll be on my other channel, Anunnaki Oracle Priestess. In either event, I hope to see you there whenever you can. Drop in and join us. Until next time, soul family, I love you very much. Peace and blessings to you. Namaste.